So we will do like always, starting with the meditation, and then I will tell you something about yantras. You are to with yantras in the background, so it's a good thing. Let's start by bringing the mind into the here and now, closing our eyes, being aware of what we feel, of how we are, relaxing. We start by bringing the hands together in Anjali Mudra, a gesture that helps us to bring the awareness into the middle of the chest, a little to the right, that place that we point to when we say I. And from there, we embrace everything with love, kindness, and compassion. We offer our practice to the benefit of all sentient beings. May they all be happy, may they all be wise, may they all be kind to each other, may they all discover love and beauty. And we consecrate our meditation to the discovery of that mystery of existence, of being without being someone or something, God seen as the essence of our being, as the essence of the world. And now we let our arms down and we will start our meditation. First with the warming up exercises. We start by rotating the head, letting the chin down, rotating the head to the right, slowly with awareness. And now we rotate the head to the other side again, slowly with awareness. And now slowly we relax, observing the sensations, the relaxation of the neck, of the head. We continue by rotating the shoulders up to the back, opening the chest, then down to the front. It's like we want to get rid of tension in the body. And now we relax, observing the sensation of openness in the chest. We continue with that exercise for relaxing the back muscles, clasping the hands in the back. We exhale, bring the hands forward, bending forward. Inhale, getting back. And we relax, feeling the back relaxed. We continue with the stretching to the side. Inhale, raise the hand. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale, raise the other hand. Exhale, stretch to the other side. And we relax, feeling the stretching of the sides of the body, the elasticity of the spine. We continue with the twisting of the spine, rotating to the left, stretching a bit, then to the right, stretching a bit without forcing it. And we relax. And we finish our warming with the bending and twisting. We exhale, bring the right shoulder to the left knee. Inhale, getting back, then left shoulder to the right knee. Inhale, coming back. And now we stop. We are ready to meditate. We get in a comfortable position with the back straight, shoulders a little to the back, opening the chest. in an open attitude, like we want to embrace the world with joy, with kindness, with love. We find that inner balance between the firmness of the pose and relaxation so that we can remain still for a long period of time, transforming the stillness of the body into the stillness of the mind. The verticality of the spine helping us to find a sense of spiritual verticality as well. We center our awareness in the middle of the chest, a little to the right, the place that we point to when we say I. We try to keep this centeredness, this awareness during the meditation. We become aware of the breathing, the gentle movement of air in and out, calming the mind, relaxing the body. In this way, we let the mind dissolve into the inner stillness. We can use the sensations of the breathing to keep the mind present, so we can observe the gentle touch of the air on the nostrils, or the expansion and contraction of the chest. Every time our mind is elsewhere, we just come back to these subtle sensations until we feel the mind relaxed and present. To calm the mind, we also can use those moments in between breathings, at the end of inhalation, just before exhalation starts, or at the end of exhalation, just before inhalation starts. There is a small gap, a small pause, a moment of void in which the mind is still, suspended. We try to remain there for a second or two, suspended in between thoughts, in between breathings. So inhale, pause, exhale, pause. These small pauses in between breathings help us to become more aware of that background of silence, of stillness on which thoughts, emotions, sensations appear, remain for a while and then disappear, and we continue to exist. Inhale, stillness. Exhale, stillness. This background of silence, this inner space of quietness, of stillness, it's called Hritakasha, the space of the heart. With each inhalation, we enter into the heart. With each exhalation, we surrender into the heart. In this way, breathing brings us closer to our essence. Here in the space of the heart, we start Atma Vichara, the search for the self, the introspection, asking ourselves the question, who am I? The mind cannot answer because the answer is the existence itself. So we ask the question, we are the answer. Who am I? We can use everything that appears in our awareness to get back to this I am feeling, that answer to the question. So when thoughts appear, we just ask ourselves, who is the one thinking? Me. Who am I? When emotions appear, positive or not so positive, who is the one experiencing these emotions? Me. Who am I? When sensations in the body appear, pleasant or not so pleasant, who is the one feeling these sensations? Me. Who am I? In this way, we get back again and again to this I am feeling, that answer to the question. I am that becomes a tremor of the heart, a vibrating light so intense that we can just surrender, being without being someone or something, pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. Who am I? We ask the question, we are the answer. We are consciousness and bliss without form. We are infinite, eternal. We are. keeping the awareness of the spiritual heart, this pure I am feeling. We conclude our meditation now, opening the eyes slowly. So today, like I promised you, we will speak a little about yantras in the context of concentration of dharana, because sure, you will see yantras are not used especially for concentration, but they are a very good tool to focus the mind and bring this uh, focusing on one point, this concentration. Of course, let's start by understanding what a yantra means. There are a lot of uh, etymologies of way to explain the origin of the word. In the usual Sanskrit, yantra means actually an instrument, and it can mean device, so something quite complex, or a simple instrument. But in yoga is associated with this kind of geometrical form of a design that uh, is charged with different symbols, uh, and for sure is very used in the tantris along with mantras. About mantras we will discuss a bit next time we meet, but let's see the origin of the word. Some explain that yam means to contain, to keep the essence of an object or of a thought. Yatra is from trana, which means liberation, freedom from bondage, from anything that binds us. So in this way, yantra can mean that thing that keeps the essence and brings freedom. In other explanation, yam is from Yama, the god of death in Hinduism, and Trana means freedom, so it's freedom from death, from the cycle of rebirth. And in this way is an instrument that brings liberation. Heinrich Zimmer, Indologist from old times, explains that yam also means to guide, to control. So yantra will be an instrument to control the energy. Now, the way in which um, it's used in Tantrism, usually yantras are connected with mantras. Actually, in a lot of traditions, in the yantra are written different mantras in different places of the yantra. We will see why. The way in which yantra uh, is functioning is because our brain is wired to understand symbols, geometrical symbols, in a special way with the visual part of the brain, that non-verbal part of the brain. So when we look at this geometrical image, we awaken this right side of the brain. But in the same time, because these geometrical forms are associated with different symbols, these symbols stimulate the left side of the brain. So looking at the geometry of the yantra, it's actually stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, so brings balance, and in this way quiets the mind. Now, usually in tantris, yantra were used as like magic devices. When you look at a text like Saundarya Lahari, for example, of Shankaracharya, Saundarya Lahari means the ocean of beauty. It's a very beautiful name. So here are given a lot of yantras correlated with mantras to obtain different kind of things, ranging from, I don't know, a spouse, someone to love, or liberation, or some spiritual power. So a lot of things. But usually you have a yantra and a mantra. The mantra you have to say for set numbers of times each day, like 10,000 times to say a mantra a day. But yantras are meant to be built on different materials and wear like an amulet, like something to keep close. They say in the tantric tradition that mantra is mind, the mind of the Shakti, and yantra is the body of the Shakti. Sure is an abstract representation of the energy, but is like an embodiment, is like the energy has a body. There are various ways in which a yantra can be used. Like I said, the most common way is to have it like engraved on a material. It can be on precious material like gold or copper, but also can be on stone or uh, a piece of wood. Any when when it's in this way, it's usually very small. It's like I think you saw from India those small squares of copper in which was engraved a yantra with various mantras. And in this way, they are used for protection. You can see in India in taxis or rickshaws to protect the driver from harm, or wear on the body in a pocket as a protection. So, or it's made from a crystal in a three-dimensional projection. So this is one way. Uh, in Sundarya Lahari that I just mentioned, uh, it's important for each kind of realization that you want, for each goal that you want, the material on which is engraved the yantra or is painted or draw. Uh, so it can be on copper, gold, wood, paper, or sure, paper more modern because in the old ways they didn't have paper, so was anything but paper. But nowadays it's on paper. So for the magical purposes, yantra was always uh, be with a mantra. Another way in which a yantra is used is to define a sacred space. You remember from Mahavidya, yantra was to put on the ground to define this sacred space in which the goddess, the Mahavidya, will come to be present for you. So the reason that you put the yantra down is that the goddess will be present in that sacred space. And for this reason, yantra defines a sacred geometry and the sacred architecture. A lot of temples in India are built like three-dimensional yantras. So if you look from above to a temple, it's like you see a yantra with the gates from the sides oriented in a special way, uh, regarding the sun and such and such. So there is still this tradition in India to draw in the front of the house on the ground a yantra for prosperity, for good luck, and such. They do this with uh, different kind of powder. They can use rice flour, rice, you know rice. You can eat it, but you can powder it in powder and color it with different things to obtain a colored powder, and then you can make a yantra in the front of the house. Usually the woman of the house is drawing this yantra on the ground, but also it's when it's drawn on the ground, again, is about this creating a sacred space that invokes the presence of a deity, of goddesses or a god. But also it can be drawn on the wall of the house. Then is drawn with the chalk, like you know, the children are using this chalk to make these patterns on the asphalt. So with chalk, they draw on the house for blessings or protection and such. In in the yoga practice, also the yantra is used uh, like already we speak about, like we use it uh, in Mahavidya initiation on the ground to set a place for the Mahavidya to be present. Like I said, yantra is considered the body of an energy. It's an abstract energy, so it's put on the ground, but also the yogi can meditate inside of a bigger yantra, so that he become the body of the goddess or of the god. And if he cannot draw the yantra on the ground, he will visualize the yantra around him, and he is in the middle of the yantra. In Buddhism, sure, they use that mandala, which is an extension of the yantra. It's a yantra with more symbolism because they use color, they use uh, representation of different deities that guards the entrances and the uh, direction of the space. Um, so there is this kind of use, and for sure you can use it uh, like we do in the tratakam. So have it on the wall in front of you and look in the center of the yantra. This is the, let's say, the less used way, uh, is the least common way to use the yantra as an object of concentration. Again, because usually yantra is about a space in which you are present, not about a thing, an object that it's in front of you. So for this reason is less common, but and I think all of you practice with this concentration on the yantra, you saw that is a very powerful way to focus the mind. Is like you enter through the yantra in a different space, in a sacred space that corresponds with different energies. When you look at Kali yantra, is like you go where the Kali is present. It's like a portal when you look enough. And sure, there is a symbolism of yantra, you can say. Uh, Almost all yantras contain this kind of symbolism. Usually, and I will speak about some most or some of the most common things that you can see in a yantra. The one that is considered the most important is sometimes not present, but it's always implied, is the center, the place in the middle. Usually it's a point, uh, it's called a bindu. Bindu is like a seed. And it's considered that this point, this bindu in the middle of the yantra, is the place from which the yantra expands. Because bindu is the unity, is the thing that has no dimension. You know, in mathematics, a point has no dimension. Or sure, you can say it has just one dimension, but no, the point has no dimension. The line has one dimension, the plane has two dimensions, the space has three dimensions, the point has no dimension. So is outside of space, you can say. A point is outside of the space. And for this reason, the point is the symbol of unity, of oneness. There is only one. And from this unity, from this oneness, then expands all the things, all the objects and such. Uh, when it's about three-dimensional representation, then this point is like an axe, like axis mundi is like a column. So this is the center, and from this point of view is the most important thing of the yantra. Then this point is expanded as a circle. Yes, the circle, all the yantra, almost all the yantras has some circle thing, because the circle in a way is a symbol of perfection, because I don't know, in all spiritual tradition, circle means perfection. Is like so round and perfect, but also is like defining something from the infinity of possibilities, is like creating a boundary. And usually again is like an expansion of the point, and it gives you a sensation of dynamic movement, because creates this sensation of expansion. Usually a circle with a point in the middle in a lot of traditions is a symbol of the sun, because of this radiating power. The next thing that is a lot of times present in a yantra is the triangle. Yes. So uh, in the yogic tradition, the trinity, the three things, are a lot of time present in various way. Uh, Actually, in Shaivism, the tradition is called Trika, things that are Trinity. There are three. In Christianity, we have Trinity. So Trinity is like a very important symbol, because usually means that you have two things, two poles, two polarities, and something that balance them. It's in between. So you have uh, always this kind of polarity. In this universe, all things are having this kind of extremities, but something in the middle that balance them. And the two type of triangles are with the point up and the point down. And actually, the symbolism is like the point down. It's about manifestation, coming downwards, going down. And the point out is about the resorption or going up. You can say like two making one, or again two balancing to make one. Shiva is the triangle with the point up, Shakti is the triangle with the point down. uh, Here there are a lot of way to express this this symbolism, uh, and for sure, for this reason, is present everywhere as a manifestation or as a resorption. Then we have the square. Yes, the thing that usually is surrounding the yantra, even if it's not quite a square because it has those gates on all the sides. Uh, it's a square shape, like let's say like this. Usually, square is a way to express materiality and stability. It's like the way in which everything is quite uh, stable and unmoving. But in the yantra, it represents usually the gates, because yantra is seen as a temple, and the square represents the way you can enter this temple, this sacred space. And for sure, usually these gates are guarded by different guardian deities. And sure, there are some places in which the square is also rotated in a rhomboid shape, and together with the square, it forms like an star with 8 points. Usually, this kind of star with 8 points represents balance between all these forms. And then usually we have those lotuses, yes, with different numbers of petals. Usually uh, they have 8 petals, and these 8 petals uh, can represent the directions of the space. Yeah, we have north, south, west, east, and the direction in between, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. Yes, all the directions of the space. And usually each direction of the space is guarded by a deity and a mantra and such. Uh, you see a lot of things have this symbolism of space, of creating a sacred space in which you will perform your meditation, your practice, and such. So you can visualize when you practice meditation or yoga or such, you can visualize that you are in the middle of this kind of yantra. Your room walls are the square shape of the yantra. You are in the lotus with the 8 petals, and you have the triangles of manifesting the energies and transcending the material world and such and such. It's a good thing to imagine that you create a sacred space when you meditate or when you practice yoga. Is not just about external things making energies flow and such, but uh, to bless the space in which you practice with this visualization. Uh, the lotus with these petals usually is a symbol of purity, but it's sure, it's a symbol of purity because usually the lotus flower is rising above the mud and the waters in which it grows. But also, these different numbers of petals can symbolize different things. If it's a lotus with 12 petals, it's a reference to the 12 months of the year. If it's with 16 petals, it's a reference to the different phases of the moon. And you see, it's like a universe around you because you are the center, you are the sun in which revolves all the months or uh, the different phases of the moon. It's like universe. Also, the number 8 in Shaivis, for example, is about the 8 uh, instruments of knowledge, the senses. So each direction and each petal, it's about a sense, smell, taste, sight, touch, or hearing. These are 5. And we have the 3 that compose the internal instrument, so-called internal instrument manas, which is the uh, common mind, buddhi, which is the higher mind, the intellect, and ahamkara, the ego. And in Shaivism, the self, the atman, it's in the middle, and from all direction he receive like an offering the experience of the senses, the goddesses of the senses, which are in each petal, offer to Atman, to the self, the experience. And again, it's about having this kind of presence in a sacred space. And for sure, you can see on the yantras that there are different numbers of triangles, different numbers of circles, different numbers of petals on the lotuses. Some yantras have more than one lotus and represents the symbolism of the sun and moon present together, or sure. But the actual thing that it's important is this uh, openness of our heart to this presence of the spiritual energies, to make the space in which we practice a sacred space. Uh, it's not about that, it's not that there are different kind of spaces that God is present and the space that God is not. It's like in that story in which a wise man, a sadhu, a spiritual man, come to a temple very tired, and he put the feet on the Shivalinga. Shivalinga is in a temple the symbol of the presence of Shiva, of God. And the priest was very upset, saying, "How can you do this? You don't know that God is there and you put your feet there. Take your stinky feet off the Shivalinga." But then uh, this sadhu moves his feet on the other place, and from his feet, another under his feet, another linga appears. And then wherever he moves his feet, a linga appears. And the moral of the story is that God is everywhere. You cannot say that this is the place where God is and that is the place where God isn't. But for sure, yantra is meant to help us remember of this presence, that wherever you are the center the of this sacred space. In Shaivism, also a yantra is visualized inside of the body. Again, you are the center of the yantra, and each uh, part of the yantra is a part of your body. Your body is the yantra. Your body is the temple in which the god or the goddesses is present. And sure, I think it will be interesting to try this next time before we meditate, to visualize that we are in the center of an yantra and to connect with all these symbols manifested through our body as a sacred presence, as a sacred space in which we are the embodiment of God. So if you have questions, okay. So next time at the practice, we will start with this visualization of us being a yantra, a living yantra, in which we offer our body to the presence of God. And then at the theoretical part, we will speak a bit about mantras. And with that, we will end this section about uh, concentration. I will see. There is another thing that we can, which is very traditional, that we can practice and speak about. But yeah, I think we will do that also because it's a classical thing, so it's worth to be explained and understood. So have a nice evening and see you next week.
Thank you very much, Sebastian.